Hello everyone. Today I am going to show you how I make a dreadlock or a dreadlock extension. I need to switch out some of my extensions that I have. I'm sure you can probably see I've got some weird random brown spots like that. And that is because the last time I dyed my hair with henna, which I dye it with henna all the time. I'm a natural redhead and henna is really close to my natural hair color. So a lot of times I dye the blonde human hair that I buy with henna. Never have had a problem. This last time, for some reason, one of the human hair that I bought, that's just randomly throughout some of my extensions, turned really dark brown. So yeah, there was that. So now I've got some weird random brown spots and some that are like my natural hair color brown and then my natural hair color. So it's driving me nuts. And I am going to make some new extensions to switch some of that out. So I thought I would show you how I make a dreadlock extension. This is the same way I would make them on my hair or anyone else if I was like starting them out. You can also see these front two I already kind of messed with. I bought some hair that's like a rose gold color, so I'm going to kind of put that throughout. This one is really bright red because when you use henna, when you first dye with henna, it's a pretty bright orange color, and as you wash it a few times it tones down into what this top part up here looks like, which is basically what my natural hair color looks like. So yeah, what do you need to make a dreadlock extension? Well, first you need hair, right? So if you're not doing it on your own hair, you need some sort of hair. You can use human hair, you can use synthetic hair. It's really up to you and your preference. Here is that rose gold color I was telling you about. This is human hair that I bought from His and Her Hair. And it is, I assume, dyed this color. I also have this that was blonde, and it looks kind of crazy right now because I just I dyed it with henna and then I really didn't brush it out or anything because I'm just going to be back combing it into a dreadlock, so there was really no reason to do that. I also have been really enjoying buying hair that already has a wave pattern to it or curl pattern because it gives my ends. So I'll make the extension and then I'll kind of add some ends that are curly, and if you can see, my hair's just kind of got this pretty curly, crazy looking ends. I like how it kind of starts to lock up on its own. I've got some kind of neat ones. You could brush these out and then, you know, every time I take a shower I kind of just scrunch it like this, but I'm sure I could brush them out, and since they're already curly, they have stayed that way. I haven't really had, there's a few like this one that's not as curly, but I like it still. It's also kind of thinning out. They thin out after a while. So that's that. You can also use, this is just the synthetic hair I have next to me. It's pink. Synthetic hair I have been buying from I Kick Shins. I also buy from the Dread Shop. They have Hinlon hair. This is Kankalon hair. Both, whether I buy hair from here or the Dread Shop, they're both really soft. The Hinlon hair is a little silkier, it's a little harder to work with, but this hair I've found has just been really soft. It's also really affordable. I should have looked it up. It's either $5 or $5.99 for this amount of hair. So especially if you're just starting off and learning, I really think that the synthetic is kind of the way to go, because whatever color you buy is going to hold that color. They last a really long time, and it's just kind of a cheaper way to practice, especially even if you don't want to add the the synthetic Kanekalon hair or Henlon to your hair. It would just be worth it to just buy and practice, because especially when you're first starting out, you're probably gonna need quite a bit of hair to practice. Yeah, so that is the hair. The synthetic is a little different to work with. Not a lot, it's just a little, it's a little different. Everything's just takes a little practice. And I will show a video sometime of me using the synthetic, but today I'm using human hair. So the next thing you need is crochet hook, because I do crochet dreadlocks. You can just back comb and leave them like that, palm roll. I use a crochet hook, so then that way it's almost like, sometimes they call them Insta-locks. It's already a cylinder, round, kind of put together, and they stay within that crocheted web that you make around them. So I use the Clover brand, which I buy them at Joann Fabrics. I'm sure you can probably buy them on Amazon, and if you can, I will link them below. But I like these colored ones. They're a little dirty. This one is a 0.75, and this one is a 0.6. This one is much pointier, sharper, almost needle-like. This one is still pretty pointy and sharp. It's just a little thicker. I use these both interchangeably. I'll be using one and then switch to the other one because at the moment it seems like it's working better or is more comfortable. I have noticed on synthetic hair, I tend, but not always, reach for this 0.6. I also reach for this one if I am doing maintenance or attaching a, sometimes when I attach a new extension to a matured lock or doing maintenance on a matured lock, this one works better. So as your locks mature, they definitely become more dense, there's more hair falling, you're losing hair every day and it's compacting into your dreadlock. So towards the end, especially, like this is an extension, however up here is the end of my natural hair, and this is a little harder, a little denser. I've had mine for 4 years, so it's 4 years old. This just kind of pokes in a little bit easier if needed. So there's that. Once you start working with these, you'll understand what I mean, and you might like one and never use the other, or you might not even like this brand. There's so many other brands out there. Just try them out. I also use these, not that often, but I do like to have them, a 3-prong and a 2-prong. So these would be used mostly, I use them when I am attaching an extension to hair. So to like your dreadlock, when you're attaching an extension to the end, you're going to be pulling the hair of the extension through the dreadlock, and you're going to be pulling the hair from the end of the dreadlock into the extension. So this is just going to grab a little bit more hair at a time, so it's a little bit easier to pull that hair through versus only being able to pull a tiny amount with this through. I will do a video on attaching an extension to a dreadlock, and we'll demonstrate that for you. The next thing you need is some sort of comb to back comb the hair. I have been liking these here. They're metal and I bought them on Amazon. This one's got finer tooth down here, or teeth down here. This one's got wider teeth up here. This one has a pick. I do like this one. It's got like this wider tooth right here at the top. That's kind of like a pick. Sometimes I use that if I need, for instance, I'll be needing to take some of these extensions out, so I will be removing them. Actually, this one's like I've already been messing with this one. So see how, the hair's coming out here. I would use like this tooth to kind of gently pull that hair from the extension so I can take that out. Okay, you can use, and these are just the ones I have preferred. The metal, they haven't broke on me yet. They've lasted a long time. I started out using these plastic ones, and there's nothing wrong with these. It's just the teeth they're thin and plastic, and they just tend to kind of bend real easily. I've broke a few of these, so the metal ones have just worked better. Some people even use those teeny tiny teeth combs that you would use if you're like a flea comb or even a lice comb. Those, really help. What you're using the comb for is you're back combing the hair. So those work really, really well. I just personally haven't really used any, and these have been working for me, so that's what I've been using. The other thing you need is a way to attach the hair, not attach the hair, but hold the hair to a table or something. So when you're back combing and making them, you're going to be pulling on the hair. So I use this. It's a clamp that I bought at a hardware store. And as you can see, you would put this, pretend this is the table, you put it here, you have the hair sitting right here, and you're just gonna clamp it like that. Okay, I will be showing you that here in a minute. So I believe that is everything you need. Now we just need to make them. So I will bring you closer so you can see up close and personal how I do that. Okay, so I hope that you're going to be able to see. We are going to use this hair here. Okay. And it really depends on how much you use for how thick or thin you need your dreadlock to be. I've got some that are thicker, some that are thinner. So again, it just is kind of however much you feel that you need at the moment. I think I'm going to use about this much hair for right now, which is, I don't know, 2 inches, 1.5 inches. Now what I like to do, I think it makes it easier, is I'm going to fold this in half. See, like that. So instead of me trying to work with all of this that's kind of thin and flat, it will be folded in half like that. So it's already almost in that cylinder shape that we want it to be in. And again, as you make them and practice, you will learn how much hair works best for you. So we keep it on this weft part here. I'm going to fold that in half. This hair that I'm working with is kind of short, so it's not going to make a real long lock. I would most likely probably make another one and attach the two together, just depending on the type of however much length you want. Okay. Oh, this hair right here keeps coming down, so I'm gonna fold that in with it also. Okay. Now, you want, here, let's do a little closer here. You want a decent amount of hair up here on the top. And that is because you're going to take this straight hair up here and you're going to attach it to the hair on the bottom of your lock. And you want a good couple inches, inch and a half, couple inches of hair with both, with the extension, the top of the extension, and the bottom of your dreadlock. And excuse my nails if they're dirty, they're always dirty. I have lots of plants that I'm messing with half the time, and yeah. This is just going to be going on my head, so. Okay, now we're going to use this clamp that I was talking about. And we're going to clamp the hair. So sometimes I kind of cinch it together a little bit so it's all kind of in that clamp. Okay, then I'm going to grab one of my combs. So it doesn't really matter which one. And I'm going to take the hair. I usually, so some of that needs to go in a little bit. There we go. Okay. I usually kind of start with a looser back comb. And I just kind of go all the way down the hair. So you can see it's already making like a nest. And then I'm going to go through again with shorter strokes. Okay, and you can see how much length we've already lost. And then I kind of spread it apart, kind of pull that teased area down a little bit. Hang on, I need to, not all of it is in the clamp. So this is why you need to have it tied on something. I'm going to kind of twist it. Okay. What we are trying to do is we are trying to create kind of a mess of hair that is pretty uniform from the top to the bottom. So when you feel it, you don't have to squeeze real hard, but when you feel down it, it feels like the density of it is the same all the way down. The other thing we want to create is we want the center part of this lock to be spongy. We don't want it to be real hard. As they mature, they're going to shrink, the hair is going to move around, so you want it to be spongy on the inside to free that hair up to move freely. Also, you're going to be losing hair all day long, and all of that hair is going to trap inside. So if this is already tight and dense, that hair is it's just going to make it even harder. Your dreadlocks will end up being kind of hard, and dreadlocks are actually pretty soft, and you can kind of not smash them, but they're kind of squishy, and that's what you want. Okay, so I think we're pretty good here. As you can see, this is going to be a pretty short one. This hair, like I said, was kind of already short. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just letting you know. Okay. Now, this is what we're going to be doing with this crochet hook. Obviously, it has a little hook. We are going to take this crochet hook and we're going to pretend that my finger here is the lock. So we are going to take this crochet hook, and with the hook towards the lock, we're going to gently slide on the top of the lock. And it's going to gently graze and pick up, you're just wanting to pick up like 1 or 2 pieces of hair. You're going to twist and turn the crochet hook so that it's pointing up. And then you're going to graze the bottom. You're going to twist, graze the top. twist, graze the bottom. And as you keep doing this, the hair will kind of stay on there, and it kind of loops through. It makes these little loops, and it loops through, and it makes these little knots. And as you go down the lock, it's going to create like a kind of like a cage around the mess of hair. And that is what makes it more cylinder, more neat looking, makes it stay together easier, and gives you that look of already having a dreadlock. Okay, so we're going to take the hair. I kind of roll it around to where it's kind of already the shape that I want. And now I'm going to take the crochet hook like I showed. We're going to graze the top, and if you can see, it picks up a few pieces of hair. The slower I do this, the harder it loses the hair pretty easily. Okay, hold on one moment. Okay, I might bring you just a little closer here. Maybe tilt this down just a little bit more. Okay, I hope that you can see this. So we're going to take the crochet hook part towards the lock, always towards the lock, and we're going to slide it around the top. It's going to grab some of that hair. I hope that you can see that. Okay, grab some of that hair. We're going to twist it, so see that hair is still on the crochet hook. We're going to graze the bottom, and now it went through that top loop. Okay, we're going to go back and forth, and we're just going to keep going back and forth. Keep going. Oh, it's okay if you lose some hair. Like I said, it's a little more difficult to do it slow. Just going to keep going back and forth. I kind of twist the hair around too. It's just kind of what feels better. And whenever we feel that we want to stop, I just kind of stick the crochet hook in the middle of the lock, and then I pull it out. Okay? Now we've created a little cage around the nest of hair here. I've still got some up here that didn't get in. So it's fine to go back and go around this and kind of bring all of that hair in. I feel like I'm going, and like I said, it's a little harder to do it slow. And what I have learned is sometimes I feel like I'm pushing the crochet hook down harder than what I want to, and that actually makes it harder to do this. So the looser I am with my hand is what I have learned, the easier it is to do. So if you kind of stay up higher, so see, I'm just grabbing a few pieces of hair, twisting, grabbing a few pieces of hair, and whenever I stay a little farther away from the lock, and I'm just grabbing very small pieces of hair, it is easier. And after a while, I get to a point where I feel like I can't keep going down any farther. I'm kind of just stuck in the same spot, and that's when I kind of stick the crochet hook inside the lock and gently pull it out. I'm hoping that this is helpful. And sometimes you might need to go in, readjust the hair a bit, maybe back comb it a little bit more. I always kind of feel it again. Okay, but as you can see, we started with this, And now we have this nice, neat, tidy lock. Okay, here we go again. Try to go slower. So we're just grabbing a few pieces of hair, twist the bottom, twist, top, twist, bottom, twist, top. And as you can see with this hand, I'm kind of guiding the hair where I want it to go. So I kind of, in the beginning, I used to consistently twist this way, but I've gotten to more where I'm just kind of using this hand to guide this where I want it to go to make it easier for this hand. So top, twist, bottom, twist, top, twist, bottom, and I just keep this motion up and I go all the way down. As you get to the bottom here, you're going to have less hair and it's going to be a little thinner. Now, I am not going to go all the way down because I need to have some hair left for, I may attach another, so I may make this exactly and then attach it to the bottom of this, or I might take some hair and attach it and leave it loose for a wispy end. And I'll show you how to do that in another video. Right now we're just trying to learn the technique of the crocheting the lock. Crochet technique. Okay, so let's do another one. Sometimes it's really hard to just watch this and understand what I'm doing. Sometimes it's much easier if whenever you're just doing it yourself. You just have to practice. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off. Okay, and then see? This is what we ended up with. There's still going to be, I don't like to be perfect, so there's still going to be a little bit of hair sticking out. That's fine. If you want it to be really perfect, you could take the crochet hook and go inside the dreadlock and grab a little bit of it and just pull it in. I usually kind of use this hand to guide the hairs. You want to be gentle, but you can kind of feel the hook and kind of guide the hairs into the hook and pull those in if that's something that you want to do. As these mature and as you wash them, hair's going to come out. They're not going to stay exactly this neat or this stiff. They're going to be real stiff in the beginning and they'll soften up. Okay. Let's go ahead and do, maybe let's make one that's a little thicker. So that's definitely 2 inches, if not 2.5 inches. Probably closer to 2.5 inches of hair that I then folded. Again, it's easier to fold it. I'm going to kind of twist it. So I'm kind of twisting it. And that's, the twisting is just so that it will fit into the clamp better. I want this to be down. Okay, we're clamping. I did not get that on straight. Okay, now it's in that. Grab a comb. We're going to back comb. Like I said before, I kind of start off a little more gentle to just go ahead and get the hair moving the way I want it to. And then I make shorter, I go a little shorter strokes. Some people do the twist and rip method, and that's actually how I started out, but I've learned that I prefer just back combing. Okay. Kind of maneuver the hair to make it work best for you. Maybe I will use the smaller crochet hook this time. Okay, so again, we're going to graze the top of the hair, grab just 1 or 2 strands of hair. We're going to twist, go on the bottom, twist top, twist bottom, twist top, and just keep that motion going. And this is what I mean by I sometimes switch around. This one just doesn't seem to be gripping the hair as well as I want it to. Some hair is different than other hair. That's why I decided to switch back to this. So we're going to graze the top, twist, bottom, twist, top, bottom, top, bottom, top. And just keep going down. If you feel like you didn't get some in that you maybe wanted to get in a little bit better, that's okay. Just keep going. We'll stop. Can always just go back, pull some in if we feel like it. Go back over. Now sometimes I will use my fingers here as a guide. So I'm going to do the same exact motion, but it's going to be inside of my fingers. Sometimes it just helps me guide it. It feels more comfortable at the moment. Be very careful that you don't poke yourself. But as you can see, I'm still doing the same motions. I'm just doing it inside my hand here between my thumb and first finger. Okay. Let me do it so you can see better. This just takes practice. I remember watching someone do this and thinking, there's just no way. And I tried and I tried and I tried and I could not get it to work. And then all of a sudden it just clicked. And I have learned that I keep changing the way I do it. You know, this is the way I'm doing it right now. But a year ago, I was probably doing it a little different. And that's okay. So this right here, I'd like to tidy up a little bit, so I'm going to stick the crochet hook in and just kind of pull those hairs in a little bit. I don't like to pull too many hairs into the middle. I feel like it just makes it a little too dense. I did learn from someone once to actually just take the crochet hook and you're just pulling the hair in like this. So you're just actually kind of going like this and pulling the hair in. And where it does work, I just feel like it makes it too dense. It's not as squishy and spongy. And I feel whenever they're maturing, they mature much better with this method. Okay. And again, just practice, practice, practice. We're getting towards the end here, so it's getting thinner. I'm going to go ahead and stop. I don't want it to get too thin because, like I said before, I will probably add 2 together to make them longer. So now I'm just kind of going through. I might pull a little bit in, but I'm really not pulling much in, just to kind of tidy some up. And there you go. I really hope that this is helpful. Let me go ahead and put my camera back up. I hope all of that was helpful and that maybe you learned something. Loki is making an appearance. Hey, buddy. So I just hope that that was helpful. Practice, practice, practice. You know, practice always makes perfect. And the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. I will try to make more videos, and hopefully those will be helpful. You know, watch my videos, watch other people's videos. Everyone's got a different method. Everyone has a different way of teaching. Maybe you'll pick something up from mine, pick something up from theirs, put those together and have your own method. So again, I just can't stress it enough. Practice. Pick you up some synthetic hair. I mean, for one, you have so much length with this, so you're going to have a lot more, you know, to go down and practice with. A lot more hair for a really good price. And yeah, I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next video.